I'm going to show you a marketing tip that people with almost no money are using to make their products and businesses stand out from the crowd that I think will blow your mind and simplify how you sell. Now, first, did you know that 20% of all businesses fail in their first year, and about half of all the rest of the businesses don't even make it past 5 years? Now, for most, the reason is simple. Even if you have an awesome product or business with all the competitors and alternatives, it's harder to make whatever you're selling stand out from the crowd. But here's the good news. Standing out from the crowd can actually be easier than most people realize when you discover this simple trick. Applying a trigger word to whatever you're selling can easily make it stand out from the crowd without your having to spend much on marketing. Now here, let me show you how this works and how you can do this easier than you probably ever realized. Are you ready? Two young California guys wanted to sell an all-natural juice they thought everyone would love, but they didn't have much money to spend on advertising or marketing. Even worse, they realized they were competing with a company called Odwalla, America's leading natural juice that's owned by Coca-Cola, one of the richest companies on the planet. And that made them really concerned. So, what would you do to make your product stand out from the crowd past all the competitors that you're dealing with, especially one that's owned by a giant company? Well, here's what they did that you could easily do with whatever you're selling. They created a brand name for their product using a word that grabbed everyone's attention. They called it Naked Juice, a name that definitely stands out from the crowd. Naked. Of course, their product was really great, but there are plenty of people with great products who struggle because they don't know how to make whatever they're selling stand out from the crowd. In this case, their Naked Juice shot past Odwalla to become the largest selling natural juice in America, all with the help of a name that made their product stand out from the crowd. Richard Branson dropped out of high school, borrowed some money from his dad, and started a magazine to help musicians. With a little success, he and a friend decided to start a record company. They recognized that they didn't have much money and that they were competing against giant record companies. To solve that problem, Tessa Watts, a colleague of his, suggested they call their company Virgin Records, as they were all new to business, like virgins. Virgin is a trigger word that grabs everyone's attention and helped them win major clients like the Rolling Stones and others, helping them ultimately become one of the major labels in the music industry, all with the help of a trigger word that grabbed everyone's attention, Virgin. And, eventually he became a billionaire, started Virgin Airlines and Virgin Galactica and all these other Virgin companies, Virgin Hotels. Okay, Virgin, it really grabs everyone's attention, doesn't it? Now, talking about the entertainment industry, as he started with the music industry, so talking about the entertainment industry, Eve Ensler launched an off-Broadway play talking about the tough things a woman has to go through in her life. Her problem, competing with top Broadway plays, especially when you don't have much money for marketing, could be really tough unless you do what she did. By coming up with the name The Vagina Monologues, her play became a blockbuster for women across America. Even the TV network HBO enjoyed creating a show about her and her play, all with the help of a name that grabs everyone's attention, The Vagina Monologues. Carey Smith bought a company that made large fans, now really large fans that are used in barns. You don't use air conditioning when you have horses and cows. His fans are also used in large warehouses. He called the company HVLS fans for high volume, low speed. It's not a very great name. A friend asked if, in simple language, how could he explain what's so great about his fans? They're big ass fans, he responded. The reaction he got from his friend was so engaging, he decided to try running an ad where he called his products Big Ass Fans. The results blew his mind. It was incredible. He decided to try changing the name of his fans and his company to Big Ass Fans. and his sales skyrocketed beyond what he ever expected. Now, think about it. You may have heard the name Big Ass Fans, but can you name another company that makes huge fans? I can't. Big Ass Fans really jumps off the page, and it makes it easy to remember. Now, he eventually sold his company for, are you ready? $500 million, all because the name he chose was so attention grabbing that it helped turn his small company into a blockbuster without having to spend too much on ads. Anti-joint pain cream, Blue-Emy, came up with a slogan: Blue-Emy, it works fast and you won't stink, using the trigger word stink to make their ads stand out from the crowd. So how about you and whatever you're selling? Have you ever considered using a trigger word to make whatever you're selling stand out from the crowd? Here are a few trigger words that you might want to try. Okay, are you ready? Naked, stink, ass, badass, dirty, ugly, dummy, dumb, bad, vomit, stupid, rotten, jerk, sex, vulgar, forbidden, orthodox, unorthodox. Orthodox might work too. Childish, foolish, goofy, and twisted. Now, I know a guy named David Bear and his partner who run an awesome service to help advertisers sell more. The name I came up with for their company was Bare Naked Advertising. What a great name, isn't it? His partner laughed and loved that name, but he said he didn't want to have the word naked next to his name, so he passed. Now, I can't for the life of me remember the name of their company, but if it was called Bare Naked Advertising, it would be easy to remember and sales would skyrocket more than they ever expected, as it has for so many others, like the For Dummies books that became blockbusters. Can you imagine? We're saying if you're a dummy, you probably love my book, and yet they called the books For Dummies, and it became a blockbuster of success. How about Dirty Dancing and Dirty Harry movies using the word dirty? Or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly hit movie? How about Sex and the City TV shows? Bill Clinton used the phrase, "It's the economy, stupid," to help him get elected US president. Brad Schoenfeld, one of the world's top fitness coaches, calls his website lookgreatnaked.com. You think that's helping his success? It's certainly easy to remember, and it definitely makes a big difference, doesn't it? So try sticking one of these trigger words to whatever you're wanting to sell, and let me know what's happening, okay? How it works. If you're like most of the people who tried it, you'll discover how this can be such an easy way to make whatever you're selling stand out from the crowd, that boosting your income and results can suddenly become easier than you ever expected. Now, if you like this video, click like, share, and subscribe so you can discover and get access to more of the things I'm sharing. Enjoy.